Today we're going to be playing around with a striker build, a little bit different than usual, but let me get this set up and we'll get to it. Let's see here. Okay, let's go. Okay, let me just get this set up. Okay, is that everything? Just need my thingy here. Alright. Alright, there we go. Now, I saw some stuff with this, using a particular weapon, but I still think it works better this way. I've tested it a couple of times without even being on stream. It just seems to work better on stream. That doesn't mean I'm going to go jump in a legendary mission and try it out yet. There's a couple other things I want to test out as well. One of the things is since these only affect me, I'm going to see how I can adapt. Because it's really easy to record something and get it, like practice doing something so many times, and then, you don't see the clear picture. It looks like you're seeing the clear picture, but you're not, because they've got a perfect run going on. What happens when they don't have a perfect run going on? What happens if the AI behaves differently the next time? Because they do. In this game, the AI behaves differently every time. It's not always the same. Good for marking things. Okay, we got some stuff up here.
Standing by. Target didn't hit. Airburst coming in. Target located.
Backup request. Hostile control point detected.
Where did that come from? I'm reloading.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
You gotta watch out for stray bullets, right?
Fucking kill you. I can do this. Grenade launched. What was out there? No sweat. I got nothing here. Good hit. All right.
Serious
This
trauma
magazine is
detected.
empty. I got you. Neutralizing hostile. Need a medic here.
So I'm gonna go ahead and chalk up whatever happened on their run was good. Right? They probably practiced the motions multiple times. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good idea, but I don't think it's chalked up to what it looks like in the video. So I beg to differ on that one.
Take much more of this.
Okay, so I like it, but it definitely needs to be, yeah, definitely need to do some work on that one. It does work pretty nice though. If you got multiple enemies and you can mark them, ooh,
Detected.
I can do some serious damage quick. So what I was thinking was if I took this build to Paradise Lost and we got to the part where you got to fight the hunter, you know, the one that's on fire, and I mark a bunch of enemies and wait, and then we wait until, you know, you douse him with water and he becomes vulnerable, and then I start smoking him with this striker build, I bet you I could probably destroy a lot of his armor quick. Maybe even kill him.
Hostile control point nearby.
Or close to killing him pretty quick. Because, like, when you stack enough times on this thing, even if you're only at one stack of striker, like, it's insane. I'm not gonna lie, it's insane. You do so much damage so quick. Imagine if you were at 200 stacks with striker and then you marked like 7 enemies. That's 70% weapon damage. And then you unleash that on a bunch of enemies. They're gonna get destroyed fast, like super fast. I did a thing at the range. It was disgusting. But this is in a perfect world, right? This is in a perfect world where you're not taking enemy fire. But just to give you like a little look at what it can do, I'll show this 2 ways. I'll show it before the buff and after the buff. So we'll get our striker thing up. We'll get it up to like, we'll get 30 stacks or the 200 stacks quick. Here, let's just get some ammo. Okay, let's get these stacks real quick. I just want to show you, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. I can only imagine what would happen if I had the other guns. Get those stacks quick. So let's see what striker can do without the buff. Not bad. Not bad. Alright, now let's see what happens when we buff it. We'll buff it like, what, 6 times there? Damn. That's not even the full potential of that. $27 million. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it's got crazy potential to do some massive damage. Like, that's 27 million is ridiculous. I had it up to 30 million. Actually, I had it up to 30 million. So. But that's in a perfect world, right? We want to do a mission where we can actually test it out. It's not going to be all perfect like you see these people doing. Like, it's not, that's not, yeah. You're not going to see that perfect thing. Simply because it's not going to happen. I said this before when I used to make build videos all the time. I'm gonna start doing them again, but I've said this before when I've seen so many people, even some really well-known people that make builds. It looks great. When you shoot a video, you can, you can go in one run and it'll be great. And then when you go into your second run and do it again, it doesn't work out so good. And then you do your third run and it doesn't work out so good. And then the fourth one's good again, or fifth one's good again. So you're not seeing the consistency. You're seeing a really good run when they show those. You're seeing a really good run. I can tell you this from experience. It's a good run. So to truly find out, you need to sit there and test this thing differently. And just keep going through different runs. If you consistently get the same thing happening, then you can say, okay, it's good. However, if it doesn't work out the same every time and it's always different, then I think you might want to just say, let's go back and revisit that. So in the said thing that I saw, they weren't using the weapon I'm using. They were using the gunner class, and they were using a different weapon altogether. It was a carbine 7 or something like that. Anyways, long story short, I like this one the best, and I like using it with this because I got the laser pointer and I'm activating. So you already know I'm using the Kingbreaker. The perfect flatline, like I like using this one because that gives me amplified damage on top of what I already do. And I'd rather have that than hoping for something to work. At least I know that my backup damage is there if it doesn't work out. Whereas the one that I saw was a good idea, but I mean, it's not consistent in my opinion. I bet you if that person did like, we'll say like 10 runs, do 10 runs with the same setup. Huh? The day before. No. The day before it came out, it went bye-bye. It didn't make it. It didn't make it past I think it was the first week. It didn't make it past the first week. Unless it somehow got relaunched, I don't know. But from what oh, I know what you're doing. I know you're being sarcastic about this game because it was a copycat of this game. It really was. It was a total copycat of this game. I think minus what you could drive. I think you could drive vehicles in that game though, or something, right? Something like that. Something was different. But like they hyped it up for so long, and then when it came out, it was terrible. That just goes to show you. Anyways, I saw this build, and I gave it a whirl, and I went on Legendary and gave it a whirl, and I liked it at first, but then I noticed that it wasn't as consistent as said person said. Because I got a different spawn than they did. So when they did it, there was a lot of reds and purples. When I did it, there was lots of golds. And there was lots of, and the other thing that I noticed that I didn't see in their run either was the robots, the machine gunner robots that are in that one mission. I didn't see them at all, actually, when he was killing all those guys. So I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, I'm seeing them like non-stop, so like that kind of hindered the whole problem. Ooh. Let's get that out there. I got somebody behind me.
detected. Nearby location guarded by hostiles.
So, I'm also running it slightly different, which I'm going to switch up right now, actually. So now I'm going to do the, which one do I want? Yeah, I'll take this one. Ooh, hold on. Maybe we'll do it this way. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Yeah, I'm on this channel right now because... Oh, I'll tell you in a minute. Oh. Let's just say it happened again. You know what I'm talking about, too. It happened again, yeah.
Target coming up the side. Yeah, I see them.
Ooh, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Detected. Hostiles guarding location nearby.
It happened again. No, yeah. Yeah. And somebody, of course, whined about it. On Twitch. I'm telling you, people are so fucking soft these days, it's ridiculous. Yeah, they're a bunch of bitches. No, seriously, I'm not even kidding either. I'm being really honest about that. They're just so soft. It's like you can't say anything because if you say the wrong thing, it's even if it's not even that bad, and it wasn't again, of course, it wasn't bad again. But somebody fucking hurt their pussy over it, so I mean, I think that's what's wrong in society today is they need to toughen these motherfuckers up because they're way too soft. How can you run a world when everybody's too soft? You gotta be careful. So what I'm gonna do once this one ends, in 7 days from now, is I'm gonna turn the video on, like the stream. I'm gonna stream and I'm gonna say my opening thing, whatever, or talk to people whenever possible, and then when they're not talking, I'm on mute. That way I can't hurt anybody's feelings because they're little pussies.
I'll cover you. These guys.
Plan B.
I'll take it out of play. They're trying to deal with those fighters. I'll neutralize
Yeah.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Get them pinned! I got your back! Here! It's just close! On the flank! I wanna see you dead! Get ammo here!
No.
Hostile control room nearby.
I'll put him down! Taking heavy fire! Grenade! Hold him down! Enemy dangerous close!
Don't worry, I'll take it out.
No, I know. What pisses me off though is the amount of work you put in, and then some people just do it to be a dick, right? And it might not even be a major infraction, but it's just enough to start some shit. It's just enough to start some shit.
Compartments nearby.
And then, then you're sitting here going, and I know this because I checked my email because I was waiting for an email from somebody, like in real life. And I see it. I see this email from Twitch saying your account has, and I couldn't see the rest, and I was like, let me guess. Let me guess. And I was right. I was right, of course. Before I even opened it, I was like, do I look at this? Because I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, see, I want to show you something. I haven't done much of the season, as you can see. There's only 6 days left of it. But where was that? The manhunt. Okay. So the manhunt this time, I haven't even started because look at what the reward is for the very last guy. Look at the reward. The reward is a goddamn fox patch. Yay. Boring. What I want to see in this game is I want to see them go back to the way they did it before. And what I mean by that is they used to give us a new skill or a new exotic or whatnot. They used to do that quite a few years. I think maybe a year ago now, maybe even two. The last time I saw one. That's what they used to give us when we would do these manhunts. But the past 2 manhunts, or even 3 manhunts, I think it was 3 manhunts. Yeah, I think it's for sure. I think it's 3 manhunts. The last 3 have been like. But that's what I mean. Like, do you want to actually? To me, it's not worth it. It's like, okay, I got a patch. Cool. I did all this work. AKA, I got rid of that. I got rid of that. You know, I did all this stuff just to get to him. Okay, cool. Now what? I got a patch. Yay. So the past 3 manhunts I haven't even started. I didn't even start to do them because they were all like actually I think it might even be 4. Yeah, they should never have strayed away from weapons, skills, and gear, exotic gear and stuff.
Detected. Nearby location. Targeted by hostiles.
Okay, so what I've combined here with this striker build is when I get a chance, is I use this bad boy right here, the busy little bee, because it says each shot to a different target will give 1 stack up to 10. Each stack will give 20% weapon damage. So even if I get 1 or 2 stacks, that's crazy. If I get like 7 stacks and then I unload on them with my main weapon, that's what I said. If I go to Paradise Lost, that incursion, and I can mark enemies and I can just hold on to those stacks and wait for them to like douse the hunter guy with water, because then you can damage him. Because if he's on fire, you can't damage him. He's immune to your shit. I bet you I could probably destroy like a good portion of his health very quickly if I just kept holding on to my stacks and waited till they maxed out at 10, because that's 200% weapon damage on top of the striker. Like I said, even if you only have like even if you don't have any stacks of striker, once you start opening up on that guy, see the thing is once you pick a weapon, so if I go like this, okay, and I get stacks, it's the first weapon I came from. So if I try to do this and go to this weapon afterwards, it will cancel the damage immediately, will go bye-bye. So you can only use the one weapon. So that's why you got to make sure that when you do this, when you switch back, your first time hitting triangle, if you're on PlayStation, it will go to whatever weapon you were using before the pistol. So if you pick the wrong one, well, you screwed it up, because as soon as you go to as soon as you try to switch to the weapon you actually wanted to use, it immediately gets rid of the damage. Like it's not like the other talent where you can just keep using it. I don't see very many people using this, to be honest. I really don't see a lot of people using this in their builds. The Busy Bee. The Busy Bee is extremely nasty. And it's 20% weapon damage per stack, like per mark, right? So as long as you're targeting different people, it'll keep marking.
Control point identified.
Right? And it maxes out at 10 stacks. But so 20% weapon damage, 10 stacks, 200%. That's 200% weapon damage. Yeah, I picked this weapon. Now if I go like this, oh, gone.
Location is compromised.
Incoming hostiles detected.
hostile civilian target.
Not at my aim. So when I watch these videos, I mean, they're cool, but at the same time, when I watch them, yeah, no, I'm doing good there. I'm just concerned about this recent suspension. It might affect my affiliate status, right? So I don't think it does, but we'll find out in 6 days. I swear to God, if I'm gonna find out who did it. No, it doesn't. I don't think it does either. I think you're right. Now here's where it does affect you. So if by some chance I was on Twitch and I started averaging 75 people in my stream, okay, I've already got the first two parts done. So I'm already 3/4 of the way to partner on Twitch. So, but when you go for partner, they take into consideration suspensions as well. So they judge you by your suspension. So if you've had, now this is my second one. That's why I said when I start streaming from now on, I'm gonna have to be quiet. I'm gonna have to mute myself and just that's what it's gonna have to be like. But they judge you by suspensions. So when you go to apply for a partner, they'll probably say no.
Detected. Location guarded by heavily armed hostiles.
But they would be stupid to say no in one sense, because if you're drawing that many people to the platform and you're averaging over 75 people every stream, that's a lot of work, by the way. That's a lot of shit to average 75 people. That's a lot of people watching you. Then if they said no to that, then you just go and up and take all your audience to YouTube is what you do. You just tell them to come to YouTube and you live stream here. Seriously, that's what I would do.
Hostile control point detected.
I get in trouble all the time. I was born in 1979. So yeah, I know what you mean. Trust me. That's the biggest thing in this thing is you got to be quiet. Oh yeah. Well, actually, yeah. That's what I mean. But that's one thing I've learned on here already for Twitch anyways is yeah, there's a lot of softies. It's not just that though. It's in like outside of this, like in the real world as well, like outside of the gaming and streaming, it's the same way. There is a lot of people that are just too soft. Like I'm convinced that if the world took a shit, okay, I don't know how these guys would deal. I don't know how they would deal because they're too soft. I don't think they could do it. Like imagine this. Imagine the internet shut down. indefinitely. It just shut down. They couldn't get it back up. And there is a very good possibility of that, by the way. It has to do with being a solar flare and destroying all of our equipment. So imagine. You're right. You're right, because, well, and it's not just that. Like, we grew up. No, 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 they're not. It's literally only it's only over here. It really is. A lot of those other places have been doing that shit for years. It doesn't faze them, right? But now, well, here we go. Ah, shit. See, there's a good example. So it is very effective, and I would recommend using it. Just remember, like I just said, don't do what I just did. So I was using this weapon last, so when I went like this when I double tapped to go to my pistol, when I went to go back after I marked the things, I went back to the shotgun, right? So you want to make sure that you are on your main weapon, you double tap, and then that way when you go back to it, you're back to your main weapon. Otherwise, you're going to be pissed because you just marked all those guys, and now you're using the wrong weapon. So yeah, and I think I was doing like, I think I had at least 80% weapon damage right there. Now, this brings me to my next thing, because I'm really curious about this. That's why I'm going back here. Oh, actually, no, that's not going to work. Never mind. Never mind. I forgot. I keep forgetting that this game is not like the other games. So I already have an exotic gun there. I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking I could do it again here, but you cannot do that. So, otherwise it would be OP as hell, because the idea I had, if this was to work, if you could do that, was to put the chameleon on. Imagine the chameleon with this thing popping weapon damage for you when you mark things. And the chameleon already has like 45 or 90% weapon damage when it gets the things on it. Like, yeah. You'd be doing, your DPS would be off the charts. The problem is if you're going to PvP, the chameleon is not going to be the gun you want to use. Because it's, yeah. Yeah. Did you imagine how much fucking damage that would be? 290% damage? Oh my god. Plus whatever you already have, which and you're at full striker, so that's another 200%. Yeah, that's like 490% weapon damage. Damn, you'd be ripping things apart by like one bullet would probably kill them. One bullet does like 50 million damage. No, but it is a good idea. Like if I could take hunters down pretty quick as long as I stay behind cover. If I can mark a bunch of enemies around them and then target them with my gun, I can take them down fast by myself. Like they literally drop like flies. I'm using the memento. So every time I get a kill, it goes by the majority of your things, right? So the majority of my things is actually weapon damage. So the immediate there's two buffs, and you remember this is there's immediate buffs and then there's the long-term buff. So the immediate buff is going to be weapon damage in my case. So a 5% weapon damage for 10 seconds. And then the 300-second buff. Every time I collect one, I get an additional 1% weapon damage, skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen. And it stacks 30 times. So you end up with like 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regen when it's full. Plus your immediate buff if you can keep refreshing it. However, what people don't realize, well, I mean, you get the 3 cores, right? But no, see what it says? So enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short and long-term buff. The first of which scales with the number of core attributes equipped and lasts 10 seconds. So it goes by whatever the majority of your cores is. The majority in my case is by 1 is definitely red. So I'm getting weapon damage for sure. I'm not getting bonus armor and I'm not getting skill efficiency because my cores are lower. So that's how that works. I will get weapon damage for sure though the minute I touch one of those trophies. Plus I'll get skill efficiency and whatever. I get a short-term and a long-term buff. So I got that on Striker. Then I've got the Busy Bee. The Busy Bee is great. Each shot to a different target will give 1 stack up to 10. Each stack will give 20% weapon damage increase. And the stacks activate once you switch to your main weapon that you want to use. So, very underrated weapon in my opinion. Great though, especially with Striker. You can make this work for any fucking gear. Like it doesn't have to be Striker, but Striker would do the most damage, I think. But you could probably do like a DPS build too. That could just be just fine with this. I don't think so. I think it literally means, from what I understand from way back, was it goes by a majority of your cores. Like for your short-term buff, your 10-second buff. Your long-term is everything. Like your long-term will have to do, like it gives you the red, blue, and yellow. Right? You get armor regen, skill efficiency, and you get 1% weapon damage every time you pick up a trophy. And that's a long-term buff. It lasts 300 seconds. I threw a Seska piece on there because I want to jack up my chances and damage. All I know is once this thing is buffed up, it does affect other things too. So it does affect skill efficiency. So you'll notice that, let's see, where's a good indication? Let me just go to one of my skills. You'll notice that I always use this as a reference. You'll notice this, okay? So with this build that I'm using right now, I have an 8-second burn duration with this particular skill. If I start stacking with the memento, that burn duration is going to increase, and so is its damage and all that other stuff. and so is its, and the cooldown's going to get reduced as well. This is how I know. I've used this. I used to live in this piece of gear. So you could potentially make a very good seeker mine, airburst seeker
You
mine,
have received an invite to another agent's group.
burn duration. I think my highest burn duration with my with this seeker mine, with my actual skill build, is almost 40 seconds. Why is he inviting me to a group? Hold on. Where is that from?
Incoming backup request.
Yeah, I'm still in that crew, and it's still the same leader, and I'm still a lieutenant. I'm still a lieutenant. Where is he? AZ Fruit Punch. Yeah, you remember that guy, right? Okay, guys, come. Why are you guys just sitting there in the thing? And it's like, dude, you didn't say you were going out into the dark zone, right? He'd go right out in the dark zone, get killed, and then he'd bitch at us. He'd be like, guys, what are you doing? You didn't say you were going out there, and I told you I had to go upstairs for a minute, and next thing I know, you're dead, and you're bitching at me when I come back, and I'm like, pretty sure I told you I'd be right back. If you went out in the dark zone and got killed, that's your fault. Not mine. And he's the leader of the clan. I told him where to go and how to get there, and he still didn't take my lieutenant away. Probably because he knows he's wrong. Now, I did try countdown, and I did get a good countdown, but it is, if I remember this correctly, it still is glitched sometimes. So I'm going to quickly go over here. Oh, that sucks. So one thing I want to see back in this game, I mean, I'm doing it because okay, so if I try to stream Evil Dead the game, which I really love playing on YouTube, I'd be lucky if I got like 2 views. Whereas if I'm on Twitch, you know what I mean? I'd probably get like 200-300. But I can't go on Twitch right now. So, one of the things that pisses me off about this game the most, though, is system corruption. I really like that gear set. Apparently, it's getting a rework. But it's not in the loot pool. So, they don't want to bring it back. So, it used to be in the dark zone all the time. These dark zones used to have... see how they have the loot, the things here? See how they have these? Well, a long time ago, once upon a time, they used to have a system corruption symbol that would show up in one of the dark zones. It would rotate all the time, but they always had one in one of these dark zones that was always running, and it was easier to find it. It was still a bitch to get it out of the dark zone because everybody would fight you for it. But they stopped doing that. They made it extremely hard to find. And it annoyed me. But yeah, no, there used to be it would rotate, but it would be either in invade or the occupied dark zone or the regular one. But it would always rotate between the 3. Sometimes it was in south, east, west, you know, it depended on what they did. And then they stopped doing it for like, well, they haven't, you can't, I mean, you can find it, but it's hard. And I did find a God rolled piece about, I don't know, I want to say about 5-6 months, maybe 7 months ago. I was in the dark zone fighting. Mm. And I found a God rolled mask, system corruption. Perfect. It was exactly what I wanted too. Crit hit chance. It was a crit hit chance one. Um, so I was like, okay, you know, the dark zone was pretty empty. Nobody was in there. I even did like the, you know how you could do like the, to see if somebody's nearby. Nothing. Nothing was coming up at all. So I was like, all right, let's get this out of here. I wasn't with anybody actually. So I started an extraction on the furthest one away, thinking, oh yeah, I can do this, no problem. You know, there's no activity in this dark zone. Nothing was happening. In the helicopter arrived, and I put my shit on the rope. Nothing. And then I think there was about 10 seconds left. Or no, there was 15 seconds left, sorry. There's about 15 seconds left before it was leaving. And I got shot from behind, out of nowhere. And he stole my shit. And then, after that, people I know started to come on. I'm like, really, guys? Where were you like 15 minutes ago? And I lost a very good piece of system corruption, and I was not happy about that. And I never went back into the dark zone again because I was just like, the dark zone was completely empty, like nothing going on. I was watching the places in the dark zone that would light up red. Nothing. And he was using the build he was using was bullshit. It was like, it was glass cannon. He was running around with glass cannon on. Probably some fucking sweat that woke up after his nap and went, oh, there's an extraction going on. Let's go do that one. Anyways, I remembered his name, and I did go back into the dark zone about a month later, and long and behold, Karma's a bitch. I say this all the time. So I ran into him again in the dark zone. This time I was geared up good, and I was with people. And he was trying to he put his shit on the rope, and he was trying to extract something. So I said, he's mine. He's fucking mine this time. I know what he's doing. I know what he's wearing. He's wearing the same shit. Glass cannon. Easy peasy. Killed his ass. Went, cut the rope, took his shit. Guess what he had? Eagle bearer. So, Karma's a bitch. He took my system corruption, and I deconstructed the motherfucker right in front of him. Because I already have a God rolled one. I was like, oh, everybody in my group already has one, so we don't need this. So, remember that system corruption piece you punked me for? Yeah. I'm currently deconstructing your ego bearer right now. Told you Karma was the bitch. What you do to other people will come back to you tenfold. Maybe it'll come back to me tenfold. I don't give a shit. Bring it. I'll fucking own Karma when it tries it. Except I haven't really had that problem. It's usually when somebody does something bad to me that it goes back to them, not me. It's almost like a free pass, vengeance, and then we're even again. Then we're back to normal, right? So when you get your revenge on somebody for doing that shit, it's funny how it doesn't come back to you because you're just getting your revenge. It's almost like it's saying, okay, cool, here's your shot, take it. After that, don't do it again or it's going to come back to you. And I didn't do it after that. But I felt good because I was like, finally, you know, I lost a piece of system corruption, but he lost an ego bearer that was God rolled. So, Karma's a bit. And I want to see how many points I have here, because I want to see if I can get one of these exotic caches. Let's see. Everybody's using this weapon, by the way. You probably know what this weapon he's using is. I don't have to look at it to know what it is. But in case you don't. So everybody runs this gun that I know of, that I can see. Or at least most people do. When I go through this and I see all these people here usually, they all have this symbol. When I go into Paradise Lost, I see everybody with that symbol, which means they're all running that weapon. I don't have that weapon because I stopped playing. So I don't have that or the Ouroboros. I don't have that one either, which is a complete ripoff of Resident Evil, by the way, because that's the name of the virus. Or it's a parasite, to be honest. Oh, you probably didn't know that, did you? So the name of that weapon in this game is actually a reference from Resident Evil. And it started in Resident Evil 4. Everybody always references it. So there's the St. Elmo's engine, and there's the Ouroboros. It's an SMG, and there's other ones too. I've missed a couple. There's 2 new ones, and they're both fucking OP. Except the St. Elmo's engine it relies on it's a shock weapon, right? So, but people do a lot of damage, right? So remember playing Resident Evil 5, because they actually had a name for the virus. Sorry, it was a parasite. It was a parasite, that's right. They had a name for it. Ouroboros. Well, they brought that name here to this game. Right? And that's a weapon. I mean, I get they probably don't think that I know that that's where it came from, that's the name. It might not be the exact same thing that it does, but the name definitely came from the Resident Evil 5. Because they actually had a name for this parasite. But that parasite actually existed in Resident Evil 4. Because Leon got infected with it. They just I don't think they really had a name for it. Or they called it something else. But that's not actually its name. Resident Evil 5 tells you what the name of it is.
Nice to see you, Agent.
There's a bunch of stuff like Perfect Trauma came out. Perfect Mad Bomber came out. There's a bunch of other perfect ones that came out as well. What's the other one? There's a bunch of other weapons that came out that weren't exotics as well. There's a bunch of shit that came out after that. I'm missing quite a few things, put it that way. There's a bunch of shit they brought out. And there's more coming out next month. Well, actually, the beginning of next month sometime. Well, think about this, okay? This is how you know. This is how we know. So the season ends in 6 days, 15 hours. So usually what Ubisoft does when they do these seasons is usually when the season ends, they take a week off. And then they start the next season. And that's when Project Resolve is going to be coming out. I'm not impressed with that right now, from what I've been reading. I was hoping that they would make some good changes to status effects. It seems like they're going to be doing some. They're going to screw it over even more, from what I've been reading, which I don't understand. So I don't understand why they don't just if you're gonna if you're gonna screw with status effects and make them worse. I'm not. There's a bunch of shit that came out. What are we at now? Let me see. Where's this shit? I'm just showing you. Where's an evil? You already know. So not too much. Not a whole lot. Anyways, so 6 days, 15 hours. After that ends, they take about a week off before they start the next season usually.
Agent in need of backup.
So after about a week, they'll release the next season. That's typically what they do. Obviously, I haven't been playing this season too much because I'm only 38. Normally, I would have this done. I would have grinded through this whole thing and been at level 99 or level 100. Normally, but after looking at the battle pass type thing, I wasn't impressed very much. So I haven't really been touching it. Um, so let's look at let me introduce you or show you tell you what's going on with this balancing thing. So we'll start with February 6th is when Project Resolve will be deployed with Year 3. That's what they say. Or Season 3, sorry. Um, so expertise is going to be cheaper, apparently. Weapons balancing. Gear balancing. So they're going to make it so that you can um, oh, no, I don't use avocado oil very often. I typically stick to olive oil. Um, I tend to stick to the olive oil mostly. I know a lot of people like using it because it is good. Like it is good for you, but so is olive oil. So I mean, I stick to that one mostly. It's very rare that I use the other one anymore. I was finding kind of the same thing. So, but I've made lots. Okay, so here's what drives me nuts. So what they're doing to status effects coming up in this new thing. All changes to status effects included and are focused on reducing their impact and introducing counterplays. The intention is to make status effects in PvP more manageable and provide agents with additional options to counteract them. Okay. So what they're saying, I will just kind of summarize this right away. So what they're saying is instead of running a 100% hazard build, now you won't have to, because now your pussy won't hurt anymore because they're just going to destroy it. So, you know those people that they'd get all mad because they'd have to run a hazard build to counter the status effects? Well, they won't have to worry about that anymore because additionally, so they're giving you like 50% hazard protection for 5 seconds. I mean, the more I read this, the more I think this is going to destroy the game for the people that enjoy using these builds, because they're going. It's basically it's going to. You might as well just take it out, because you're just making it further just. So Plague of the Outcasts, aka when you're using the oh my god. Let me just get back in here. When you're using the gun here, I can't remember. Oh my god, I'm having when you're using the pestilence, it's going to be so when you get full stacks on somebody, when it transfers to somebody else, if it kills them and transfers to somebody else, it's going down to 25 stacks. And from what I'm reading, it sounds like it might go further as well. So if it fucking kills them at 25 stacks, it's going to go down to 12.5 stacks, I think, or it's just going to be 25 stacks when it transfers. So, to me, they didn't really do what they should have done, which was make them viable. Now they're trying to make them so manageable that you won't have to run a hazard build anymore because you won't need to. And so basically, in my opinion, what is the point of having a status effect in the game if it's not going to be effective? That's the whole point, right? If you're going to introduce something into the game, why are you getting like? You might as well just get rid of it, because you're nerfing it to the point where it's useless. Like if this is their way of driving more people to the game, they're actually going to drive more people out of the game. Because people that enjoy those kind of builds are going to be like, oh, well now it's even worse. Because now they don't even have to run a hazard build. Because if you infect somebody with bleed, for example, if I read this correctly, the next time you infect them with bleed, it's going to be reduced by 50%. Okay? 50%. It's only for 5 seconds, but they're going to get 50% hazard protection for 5 seconds if you hit them with the same status effect a second time. Like, obviously there was a lot of whiners that just didn't know how to manage their shit properly. If you go and play the Division 1, though, I'm not kidding you. There was a hazard protection in place, but it wasn't like this. It was like it maxed out, I think, at 40%. That was the maximum you could have against status effects, was 40% protection. I believe it's either 30 or 40. It wasn't very high. That's how it should be in this game too. I'm sorry, it should be. There should be no fucking crutches for this shit. I hate that. I think it's stupid. If you're gonna have something in the game and then just destroy it, then just get rid of it. That's the simple solution. Because you're just gonna piss off. They're trying to please one side, but they're not realizing that there's a lot of people that enjoy those builds, and it's gonna affect them in PvE as well. They're gonna be pissed about that. It's just, I don't know. There's no, it's gonna make a lot of things useless, basically. Like that St. Elmo's gun that they brought out, that's gonna be useless. um, I think what they needed to focus on was other things. Like there's a lot other things that are much, much worse than that in this game. Like people go invisible and doing damage and you can't find out where they are. Like that's a problem. There was one rampant bug in this game a long time ago. Well, I shouldn't say that long ago. Playing Conflict against this one guy kept coming into the server, and he was using the mortar turret. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. This guy would do something on the ladder and make himself go invisible, so you wouldn't be able to see where he was, and you couldn't hit him or kill him. But he would shoot his mortar turret at you, and you wouldn't even hear it coming because he was invisible, so you wouldn't hear it. Normally you would see it. You don't even see it either. You wouldn't even see the red mark on the ground indicating that there's a mortar coming your way. And it would just hit you and you'd be dead instantly. Yeah. So that was, I stopped playing Conflict for a while until they fixed that. One thing I am happy about, though, when it comes to Conflict, actually, is they're fixing the spawn camping shit. You know, where you get trapped in your spawn? Yeah, they're fixing it so you have a way out. Which is good. It needed to happen because so many people would do just that. They would grab a mortar turret and they would just basically keep you trapped in your spawn because they could hit you in there with the mortar turret. No other skill could get in there, but the mortar turret could. And that's what they would do. Is you'd have three people that would pop up their mortar turrets, and then they would just aim in different spots, and then it didn't matter where you hid in your spawn to try to protect yourself, you would be dead because the circles would just overwhelm you. There'd be 3 different circles in 3 different spots. You have nowhere to go. So I'm glad they're fixing that. That needed to happen a long time ago, but I don't know how many times I'd be spawned and I would search a game for Conflict and be stuck into a match where I'm trapped in my spawn. As soon as I spawn in, I'm trapped in my spawn and getting hit by mortar turrets. And the thing is you go look at his build, and a lot of these guys wouldn't even have a complete 6-piece, yellow set at all. They would have they'd be using maybe 2 pieces of yellow, but they'd be using glass cannon to amplify the damage on it. And yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that needed to be kind of addressed, was this, people running around with fucking 1 piece of yellow on and killing people that have 6 pieces of yellow on. Like that's with their skills, right? That's not how this game should have been. Now, they did sort of do something with it with the thing there, the pulse, the one that oh my god, I haven't played this in so long. The pulse that not disoriented, but it's the EMP one, where it fucks your shit up and you can't use it. They did fix that finally. So, but here's the thing I don't like about it. They didn't quite do what they should have done. So, if I'm skill tier 6 and let's say you're skill tier 1, you can't use the jammer pulse on me. Okay, it won't work. Same thing if you're skill tier 2, it still won't work on me. However, if you go to skill tier 3, you can jam me with that, which is stupid. So why would you want to run 6 skill tiers when you can just run 3? Those are the kind of changes that just, I don't know, they make me go, okay, I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but they're dumb. Just makes you go, what were they thinking when they did that? But I mean, at least they're trying, I guess. But like this latest update, there's more than just what I said. There's a lot more things coming than that. That's one of the things. Yeah, it should be a closer core thing. Like I would say at least 5. At least skill tier 5 to even do something to skill tier 6. So there's a couple games that I play, um, RPG games type thing, MMO slash RPG type games, and the way they do it in those games is if I'm higher than you, right? Yeah, exactly what you just said. But if you're skill tier 1 or skill tier 0, because how this used to work was you didn't even have to be skill tier. You could be skill tier 0, like no skill tier, and you could jam somebody. Didn't matter if they were skill tier 6, which really drove me nuts because I was like, that's stupid. Um, Definitely, you shouldn't be jamming me when I'm skill tier 6 and you're skill tier 0. It should go by a percentage though. So if you're skill tier 5, for example, then it would be a 75% chance that you could jam me if I'm skill tier 6. And if you're skill tier 3, it should be a 50% chance that you might be able to jam me. Anything lower than that though, there should be no percentages. It goes right down to 0. Anything below that. Because then you're getting in, I was going to get into my next thing I was talking about was in the games that I play that are like RPG slash MMOs, it kind of works similar to that in that if you're closer matched to me, then you'll be able to do stuff. But the lower you get, your chances go way down the tubes, right? To the point where you can't even do anything to me. So if you're like a mage, for example, and you're going against another mage and you're level 30 and he's level 10, well, there's no comparison. You're going to murder his ass, no problem. But if he's level 20, he could do something to you. It won't be much, but he could do something to you. And of course, as he gets up and like level 22, 23, he can do even better stuff. But not anything drastic because he's still not close enough to your level. He's not super close to you yet. That's kind of how they should have scaled this game when it comes to that kind of stuff, especially with skills. The closer you are to my skill tier, the better it should be. But it's not going to be better than mine because I'm higher than you still, right? I think the way it works right now is absolutely stupid. Now, when you're skill tier 3, your chances of jamming me is 100. Like in the game right now, your chances of jamming me is 100%. It's not 50, right? Your idea is good, but that's not how they're doing it. Which leads me to my next thing. So, let's say you're using the jammer pulse. Okay, that's skill tier 3/6 against each other. Works great. Well, it's kind of bullshit, but you get it works, right? Anything below skill tier 3, though, you won't be able to jam me. However, if you use this ability, the EMP sticky bomb, there is no skill tier 3 shit, right? It only applies to the jammer pulse. Okay, so if I'm skill tier 0 and I'm running around with this, I can jam your ass if you're skill tier 6. Oh yeah, they didn't fix this. This is one thing that they didn't fix, was this. And that's what a lot of these guys do in PvP, because they don't want to use any skill tiers. They want to go straight DPS. So they still want to be able to jam your ass, though. So that's what they do, is they use a sticky bomb. It does the same thing. It jams your shit. It doesn't last very long, but it still jams your shit, and they don't have to be skill tier 3 to do it. And believe me, that thing is really easy to aim. I'm going to show you how easy it is. You go here. Boom. You just use your crosshairs to aim that thing. Don't use the built-in thing that they have. This one right here. You probably will get it. But if it's further down the line, you're probably going to miss using that method. So always use your crosshairs to do it. And keep your crosshairs up while you're aiming, and then as soon as you got the spot, don't let go and aim down your sights, and boom. Press the button. 10 out of, the hit ratio is 10 out of 10. Doing it with your gun or aiming down your sights on your gun. So you hit with the sticky bomb. I can hit moving targets with that. It's fucking hilarious. As long as I'm aiming at the right spot with my weapon, I can get them. So the Cavalier gear set is the other thing I was going to talk about. It gives them a defense against skill damage, right? So status effects wasn't enough. So what happens when a status effect doesn't work? What do? Right? What's the first thing you do? You go to skill damage, because that will work. Or explosive damage, that will work. But they've recently introduced new gear pieces. I don't know if I have any on me. Let me see. I might. Let me look. Yeah, right there. This new gear set, this new set. It's not like a gear set. It's just a brand set. This new brand set one piece of this brand set gives you 20% explosive resistance, which if you're at shade level 1000, that means all of your stuff is at 50 or whatever. You'll actually have 40% explosive resistance. Or sorry, 30%. You'll have 30% explosive resistance if you have one of these pieces on. Because you'll have 10% from your thing, and then you'll get 20% from this. Yeah. So now your explosive damage, if somebody's running the right shit, is not going to be very good. And if they're running the other one, your skill damage isn't going to be any good either. So now you got to really be careful and scan people's shit that they're wearing to know what to do, what to use. Obviously, stay away from status effects if you can, especially if you're PvPing. Don't even bother. Like I said, you'll hit somebody once and you might kill them a couple times, but once they start putting their hazard build on, yeah, forget it. That shit's not gonna work anymore. So what I used to like doing was putting on fucking, explosive damage shit and slash skill damage, right? But if they got somebody in their group that's wearing the Cavalier gear set, they can negate a lot of your skill damage now. And like I said, if they're wearing pieces that give them explosive resistance, you're not going to do as much damage as you thought you were going to do. So I don't know how to explain it. To me, it seems like they're not. What the hell's going on here? Okay, there you go. You just want to stand on the table, I guess. They're really getting away from the skill tier. Like, they're not allowing the skill tier to even breathe, in my opinion. Because they've got counters to everything in the skill tier. They've got explosive resistance that you can put on. Plus, you can put it on. You can get it rolled on your gear on top of that. Imagine if somebody had that shit rolled on their gear. Okay, and then they just put one of those pieces on to give them 20% on top of that. And you went to hit them with a sticky bomb and realized that it's doing nothing. So now you have to focus on being a gun build or even a tank build, because that's the top two in this game at the moment. Because if people see what you're wearing, they can easily adapt and put like a cavalier gear set on and whatnot, and just make your fucking build completely useless. And put hazard protection on, and your status effects are gone, your skill damage is like weakened, and your explosive damage does fuck all as well. Now what? Well, you have to go get a DPS build. Once again, they have been listening to the wrong people. Probably the ones that are whining about this shit, because they don't wanna have to put a hazard protection build on, because that would hurt their pussy. So yeah, that's kind of what it's like. Let me just refresh this here real quick. I need to look at one thing. Nice. So what? That's why I've been playing around with these other builds, because I know that that's what it's going to come down to. This got a rework, I think, didn't it? So when they reworked this gear set, the tip of the spear gear set, they didn't really they didn't really be very nice about doing it this way. So the way this thing used to work was, if I hit something with a signature weapon and I didn't exactly have to kill it, it would give me 20% weapon damage. Now, I believe they took that away, so it doesn't give you any weapon damage anymore. It says getting a signature weapon kill gives 15% signature weapon damage for 10 seconds and 25% reload speed. Yay! Way to ruin the gear set. Okay, so they do give you 50% weapon damage for 15 seconds after fully depleting the signature weapon of its ammo. And it sounds really cool, but that means you have to use your signature weapon to get it, right? So whereas before you had to use it, but you only had to hit somebody once with it. You could keep your ammo all you wanted, and it went all the way up to 40%, right? So if you wore the backpack, I think it was the backpack or the chest piece. Let me see. It was the backpack or the chest piece. I think it was the chest piece. Yeah, it was the chest piece. Specialized destruction. So this would give you 40. This would bump it up to 40% if you were wearing the chest piece. But not signature weapon damage. You would actually get 40% weapon damage for 60 seconds. It doesn't do that anymore. They fucking ruined it. In my opinion, they ruined it. See, that piece of gear has 9% explosive resistance on it. Already got a good one. So, I don't know. It sounds like a lot of the update things look really good, but on the other hand, there's a lot of negatives as well that I'm seeing. We'll have to see when it comes out. Um, Let me see what what else I have here. Hold on, give me a second. Oh, I didn't realize that I was running out of juice here. I better plug this in since I have a cord long enough to do so. Boom, there we go. It was literally almost dead. Here, I'm gonna minimize this for a second. It's probably gonna look like but trust me, I'm not gone. There we go. I just wanted to see something real quick. So I'm not sure what to make of this, but if you like I was saying before, if you go and play the Division 1, you'll notice that they didn't do that in Division 1. They didn't nerf status effects like they did in here. There was like I think a 40% maximum hazard protection against status effects, which meant that they were viable and they still work really well. They didn't guarantee you were going to kill somebody, but they did really well. Whereas in this game, they've totally made them useless because you can just run 100% hazard protection and negate most of the shit. And now they've added even more stuff to make that even worse. And then Project Resolve is going to be deployed on February 6th, and it's going to really make things worse when it comes to status effects, to the point where I think they're going to lose even more people from this game. Because they're going in the path that they're going down is just not what people want. They still want to be able to use builds that are effective. They don't want to be completely backed into a corner and say, okay, you've got to use a DPS build because it's going to be pretty much the only builds that are really viable besides tank. Because if you try to use a status effect build, forget it. It's useless. It's already useless. It's just going to get worse. So what do? You either keep playing the game and switch your builds up, even though you don't want to, or you stop playing. But that does not sound very good. That sounds wrong in so many ways. That sounds wrong in so many different ways. We're gonna go over here. So what do? Well, I can tell you what I'm going to do. I've got many games. Like, I'm not even kidding. I've got lots of games. I'm still here. I've got Days Gone. I've got Ghost Recon. I've got The Finals. I've got Dead Island 2, Spider-Man, Evil Dead, NHL 24, and then I've got a shitload of more. I've got more than that. And I've still got about another 100 games besides that. So what do I want to play? Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, I've got so many games that I could play besides this. It's not like I'm bound to just this game or, the other one. It's just I enjoy them. I did enjoy this game before. I sort of do still, but I think after this update comes out, I probably won't enjoy it anymore.
Agent in need of
Because
backup.
I think they're just going down the wrong path. It's a good idea, poorly executed. Like, remember the specialization revamp we were supposed to get? Where the fuck did that go? It was supposed to happen 2 years ago or something now.
Physical and verbal violence inside the perimeter will not be tolerated. Violators risk permanent expulsion from the secure area.
Here, let me switch games. I'm gonna switch something else. I'll be right back.